a good range pressure up, but it looks like the front line for AE is still getting in there, damaging Bomb. They're a lot low. They're very low right now. It looks like the gank, though, tearing up Bomb. Bombing kind of split right now. Half of them pushing into AE, the other half getting stuck back down on the ground, not even able to protect them from the gank squad. Dealing out massive damage right now. It looks like the 5-man gank generating downs all across the arena, and there's the collapse. So AE takes that round again, and Bomb, they're going to have to add more gank.
You know,
do
it's
something.
interesting, because I think I remember last week, I think it was Bomb that was running a 2 melee train comp. And they seem to have abandoned that strategy and just go for 1 melee train. But when you have a 5-man
Pretty
gank,
sure that's primarily because Draken isn't online.
yeah,
He's the one who was kind of commanding that whole
yeah.
shenanigans.
But since AE's got a 5-man gang squad, they're able just to people off left and right, and then you just end up with a shorter and shorter train before you know it. It's just you and a couple warriors left.
It's really hard to cast these kind of matches because we see all across the arena, Bomb will try to make a move, but all of a sudden 3 or 4 people are down in the back, and Bomb trying to help them at the same time, AE keeping the pressure on the front line, not letting them get anywhere.
Yeah, just kind of have to be pretty defensive as a melee, and just be sure you know that you need to be peeling for your casters on a win. Just turn on those heals and try and catch out gank with pulls if you can.
Alrighty, so here we go. The next round will get started very soon. We have the new rule update. So the new rule update is there'll be 4 minutes or maximum between rounds. It's banner cooldown, and the reason for this is it was taking too long for rounds to get started, and it was just kind of it was making the GVGs last way too long. People were getting frustrated. They couldn't use the OS. Also, in between the round right now, we'll see GPB, Good Boy Points versus him. But as I say, people were getting very frustrated. So what we've done is we implemented these 4-minute timers between the rounds to keep GVGs going.
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned banners, because I haven't seen BMO drop banners lately at all. Have you?
BMO?
Isn't fighting?
You mean Bomb?
Yeah, Bomb, I'm sorry.
Well, let me see. How many warriors are they running? They're only running, I think, 3 warriors tonight. So the banners should be there. And then in the past, the banners haven't been the strongest for them. AE, on the other hand, doesn't really have a banner. They have 1 warrior in their comp right now.
You know, a fun thing I'd always like to see is seeing that Necro Signet that takes about 30 seconds to cast. I think that'd always be a fun, entertaining thing to see in a GVG.
Of all the non-elite, well, so basically every banner besides War Banner on Warrior, it's probably one of the better ones. The Mesmer one is just atrocious, like, unless you're trolling people, really. Looks like GBP wasn't ready, so probably gonna see Bomb versus AE next.
And it's a fun thing, you know, a real interesting thing too. When you're the driver of these GVGs, you almost have to be the big daddy. You know, you got to be the guy that everybody goes to, and when you're the driver, you're kind of the person keeping everything together, and you're almost a father figure to the rest of your guild.
I think we might have had a false start from AE versus Bomb. Don't think Bomb was ready. So see if they can hopefully go at 0-0 or something. Okay, they're gonna get started at 0-0 here.
Alright, so the round gonna get started very soon. And we'll see what kind of changes Bomb's gonna make to counter this 5-man gang squad. Alright, so Bomb now moving forward, and we see them get an early stealth off, trying to avoid the AE engage. AE now pushing forward. They like to stealth their train separately, as we've seen the train going in, and now we see the gang squad setting up off to the side, getting ready to make an early engage on Bomb. Bomb being pushed into their corner right now, staying back. Liches go up for Bomb early. Bomb keeping the Liches up. The pressure is on AE right now. AE trying to go in, and we see the gang from AE being pressured back. One player is already down. It's a Necro. He's going to get cleaved out by the range pressure. No banner for him, surprisingly, and now Bomb being pushing into AE, getting the damage off on top of them. AE being forced back into the corner here, and AE now looks like they're getting ready to turn on the Bomb. A lot of damage going out right now. Bomb frontline very low in top of AE, having to pop a lot of cooldowns to get out of that. And now AE, the gang, moving in onto the Bomb, finishing off one player already, instantly another player for AE running, or from Bomb running away. The gang right after him, and now Bomb gonna collapse here again. Looks like a banner finally goes down. That's actually an AE banner, so no banners from Bomb yet, and the guild gets completely annihilated.
Now, George, you said earlier that Bomb does not have their primary drivers on tonight, correct?
No, which would, I wouldn't say excuse, but it would be a
just like the
reason
comment
for
I
this.
said earlier about if you don't have your main driver on, your glue, your force of nature, your big daddy on, I think it makes a big difference, and that you end up losing a lot of that momentum. I mean, because people will, you got Tyrion and Bomb, and people will look up to him as as a guild leader and all, and so it's always very difficult. But at least Bomb is here. They're playing the games. They're giving it their best shot, and people in Bomb are getting some good experience, at least, of doing these GVGs.
And we're not bigger issue Bomb's seeing right now is just they need to adapt more to the 5 gank strat. Maybe cut down on their gank a little bit and go more heavy on melee. Just focus on supporting your backline, and as soon as those thieves come out of stealth, just trying to train them down, because unless you're going to match them with like 5 gank, then there's not as much your gank can do in gank v gank fight. But not sure if they have the roster to actually do that.
But it is also nice seeing a kind of difference in comps with these two teams. They're not doing the typical pirate ship meta or doing a full nomads front line or anything like that. So you are seeing a little bit of variety, which is always nice to see. So you get some interesting fights. Looks like him and GBP might be getting ready to go here. What do we know about the good boys?
They're
just the good old boys?
There are a lot of CM players in that guild. I think it's their 6th or 7th reform.
So it's TE. It's TE and Apex again.
TE. Alright, so now, I'm not going to shotcast him versus GPB. But Bomb right now, so I'm unfortunately thinking unless Mills can turn it around and figure out what to do against that 5-man gank, I think tonight's going to go to AE.
Now, I'm assuming this fight in between, it's just will be a good warm-up fight for him to keep everything lubricated and well-oiled, so to speak, and then some good refreshers and some good learning experiences for GVP.
Yeah, him still has quite a few GVGs to complete for the tournament. They still have 4 more rounds, 4 more matches to be had. So
yeah, you don't want to get out of practice because the tactics might change a week or two, and if you haven't GVG'd in a week, you just might be out of the loop. That adding that different class, that 1 or 2 different classes, can make all the difference.
Mm-hmm. And considering the schedule,
do we have any idea when the IX versus him fight's going to be?
That may be on Friday. I think Stonewall and Fav were in the talks for Friday, but it might move around. Actually, it might be Monday. Yeah, Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern, I think is what they decided on.
It looks like the good old boys, have called the match. Him still flexible, still feeling good.
Alright. Excuse me. Alrighty, so the next round between AE and Bomb, they should be ready to go as soon as GPB and him have cleared the middle of the arena. Is my audio sound alright, Jordan?
Yep.
Alright, good. Alright, here we go. So the next round getting ready to start soon between these two guilds. And we will see what Bomb's going to do against the 5-man gang from AE with the backup driver. A tough situation for them. However, it's just one of those moments where you have to overcome and try to play through it. Round starts at 9:00, I believe.
You know, I just spoke to one of the AE's gang party, and they told me that their 5-man gang squad actually does the number game before they start. You know, that 1, 2, 3, 4, and they see how high they can get to help that group synergy and group teamwork. Good to know.
Alright, so the round getting started here now. Bomb with the early stealth pushing forward, going to the middle of the arena right now. AE pulling off to the side here, getting their empower off a little bit late. Bomb now pushing on top of that, trying to take advantage of the late empower from AE. AE being pushed back into the quarter when AE player is down, other Bomb players down. They're going to trade here, and that AE player going to get back up from the one banner that AE has. What AE or Bomb finally dropping a banner on their Necro here. I think the Warriors might have woken up a little bit, and now AE training down one of the thieves from Bomb, trying to eliminate all threats to their 5-man gang. Gonna finish off the Bomb thief, and he's gonna go down. Bomb now pushing into AE on the counter push here. AE goes in, finishing off the thief. The thief actually wasn't down before, and now they're gonna go ahead and cleave him out. So he's out, and now Bomb finishing, getting one player down. He's very low down. Oh my god, I'm gonna go down. But 2 players down right now for Bomb. Bomb gonna try to get them hard rezzed up. AE keeping the heavy range pressure on top of them, and it looks like that player is gonna get cleaved out as well. So AE backing up, getting a regroup, and actually they're going to keep the pressure up on Bomb right now. Bomb trying to move out of that corner here, and AE, several AE down right now. One down in the back, looks like he's going to get hard res though. So a lot of AE low. Bomb leaving on the AE off to the far side of the arena. However, Bomb losing players as they move from that gang, just picking off people one by one. It looks like this round is going to go to Bomb again. I mean to AE, excuse me.
You know, it's a shame too, because you're just not seeing a lot of banners from Bomb at all when you get a player down. And once AE gets you in the corner, they're just able to just kind of envelop you, do the pull pirate chip thing. You get your Necros just to free bomb everything. Bomb, you know, they get bombed on, they get down, they stay down. And it's just really unfortunate for Bomb.
Yeah, they just pretty much get grinded out into these corners after they get backed up and just not able to push out.
Comp-wise, are they actually... No, they're running 2 warriors. It's interesting that only 1 banner went down from Bomb the last round.
Honestly, they have 3 warriors. I think they have 3 warriors actually in their comp. So maybe one of the warriors is running a rampage or trying something new. I'm not totally sure. Or maybe he's just not dropping the banner. That's entirely possible as well. When a lot of people go down, you get nervous. You don't know where to spin your banner at.
Or they could just be going for that Rampage Lightning Hammer swag, but...
That Rampage Lightning Hammer. Can you pick up Lightning Hammer while on Rampage?
You have to do it, like, as soon as you're...
transforming?
Rampage, yeah.
And what does that actually give you an advance or anything? I don't really know how viable of a strategy that would be. It'd be interesting to see.
I'm pretty sure it's mostly just for the hilarity, but... You get the Lightning Hammer skills with all the buffs that you would get from Rampage, so... Can hit like a truck, I guess, and not take a whole lot of damage.
Alright, so now we're going to see GPB versus him. It's going to be red on red for the stream. We apologize for that. The next GVG will be switching actually back to our Yaxman account. It's to watch DUI versus... Is it DUI versus TFH? That actually should be exciting. Yeah. DUI, they had a rough start to the beginning of the tournament, and well, so far they've actually really improved. We've seen their Necro play get much better as they've gone on. They brought in the Signet of Spite in one round, and they actually got a 7-0 over who was it? You remember, Jordan? Was it AE? It was actually AE that they beat.
Yeah.
So they're coming off a win versus AE, very confident right now, and their goal. I talked to, we've heard from their leader, Mummies, or one of their leaders. They have 2 leaders, and he said that their goal was to start this tournament off with him and end it with IX. Or no, start with IX and end it with it. Who was it? IX and end it with BMO, or
maybe BMO.
I think it was to start with BMO. Yeah, it was to start with BMO and end it with IX, and that's their plan. Or no, other way around. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wow, the 4-man lich right now from Good Boy Points. But they want to start this